Welcome back again, guys. This is Joe with O'Neill Ops, and today we're going to work on a review almost 18 months in the making. I know a lot of you get to see us in our predator hunting videos, and we're going to talk a little bit about one of the questions we get the most often, which is quick detach bipod mounts. There's a very good reason why we run a quick detach bipod mount, and it's because when we're in the field, the best position you can take to make an accurate shot is prone. But a lot of times you don't have the option to make a prone shot. You have to sit, sometimes you have to stand or kneel. So we run this so that we can switch back and forth between a long bipod and a short bipod. And I'll just give you a quick rundown one more time as far as the quick detach goes. With a lot of these, it's a one-handed operation. You switch from one, grab the second, and lock it in. Once you lock it in, it's set. You can use whichever bipod you want in whichever scenario you want to use it in. First and foremost, I want to thank some of the bipod manufacturers, or excuse me, quick detach manufacturers, for donating some of these that we could do a test on. As I said before, this is a review that's been 18 months in the making, and the reason that it took so long is because I wanted to give each mount fair time in the field without just running it out and testing it for a little while and saying, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. Another thing is, this isn't necessarily going to be a personal preference style of a review. This is going to be more focused on facts, data, and I'll let you guys decide which ones you want to run for yourself. The first that we're looking at here is from GG&G. This is their quick detach bipod mount. It has a large throw lever on the side, and it's actually a really good size for your finger. And it has close to probably an inch, 3/4 of an inch to an inch of mounting surface that it actually grabs onto your rail. Another one that we have here is the Larue LT-130. This one is very similar to this, except it has like a little bit more of a fluid motion, and it grabs in a little bit smaller of an area on your rail. Another that we have here is this is from American Defense Manufacturing, and the thing that I like most about this one specifically is it has a locking lever on the side of the throw lever. So after it's locked on, it can't get hung up on anything until you actually hit the locking lever. So we've got these different quick detach mounts, and they all lock up very solid. A lot of guys like to change back and forth between either a bipod when they shoot prone, or they even go and they'll use shooting sticks when they go to the field. I've never been a fan of shooting sticks, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to test these bipod mounts. The last mount that I'm going to show you here is from Badger Ordnance, and it's actually one of the most unique of all these because it's a polymer mount. I believe it's some form of a nylon plastic, and it's machined. It's not soft, it's extremely hard and durable, and it does have double-sided clamps for your Picatinny with 2 recoil lugs. So even though it is made out of what I would probably say is inferior material compared to the steel or aluminum models, it actually has a very solid mounting system, and it's easy to manipulate one-handed. All right, guys, I am going to give you a little bit of pro and con here on each of the mounts. Not necessarily a personal preference. I just want to show you some of the details that I did like and some that I didn't like. With the GG&G tactical mount, I do really like its low profile. All of the aluminum mounts are very similar in weight, but this one is really low profile, and it does have almost an inch of mounting surface where the clamping mechanism grabs onto your rail. It doesn't pinch in one spot. It does have about an inch of surface area that it grabs onto your Picatinny. One of the things that I was not a fan of is in using this mount with a ghillie suit and using it with a pack, this latch has a tendency to grab on a lot of things that hang out, whether it be pants, mesh on a ghillie suit, or netting, and even the edges of a pack. This can get snug and catch, and next thing you know, your bipod's laying on the ground. If you don't carry it that way, if you're using this, you know, as a bench model, or if you're using this in a scenario where you're not using all kinds of equipment that it can snag on, this is a very good mount, and especially for the price. So this is not something to discredit one bit. Another one to look at here is the one from ADM Manufacturing. This mount actually has probably 1.5 inches of mounting surface that grabs onto your Picatinny, and it also has cutouts on the inside to reduce weight, and with the locking mechanism, as I mentioned before, it has a lock on the rail lever so that once it gets over into the lock position, it can't snag on anything and inadvertently open up. You have to depress the locking lever in order to open it up. The one downside to that is that it's not a true one-handed quick detach. You can't grab it, depress the lever, and then open it with the same hand. It's extremely difficult to open it that way. It is very easy with two hands. You can grab a hold of the bipod, push the button, and throw the lever. It's not difficult, it's just not quite as easy as some of the others. The Larue LT-130 is kind of a cross between the two here. It has a throw lever that's very small in relation to the one from GG&G, but it doesn't have the locking mechanism that the ADM mount has. So it is very easy to get a hold of, and it does have a recoil lug so that when it's mounted, if you're shooting something that's large or whatever you got going on, you can lock it in place. And it is a mechanism that is truly one-handed quick detach. You can loosen it up one-handed, you can put it on one-handed, and you're set to go. It is a fraction of an inch taller than the one from GG&G, but you know, in a bipod scenario, a 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch isn't really that big a deal when you're running a bipod that can extend, you know, from 6 to 9 or from 12 to 25 or whatever. That's not really that big of an issue. I do really like that integral recoil lug. It helps to prevent it from sliding left or right. So that is the Larue LT-130. The Badger mount, the Badger T.R.A.M.P, is what I would consider the easiest to operate one-handed. With one hand, it has a clip on each side, and all you have to do is grab it and pull down with each finger. It slides on easy, and it clips into place. And with the high strength polymer that they have here, it's not going anywhere. I've used this on my 243 Super Short Mag. I've used this on my Short Action Ultra Mag, my 300 and the AR-10. And I've used this on my 7mm Remington Mag. And I've never had any problem with things getting loose, excessive wear, slop, anything like that. So that mount is easily the easiest to manipulate one-handed, and it's also the lightest by almost half in compared to some of these others. It does have a little bit of drawback in that with the polymer sliding over the rail system, depending on how in spec your rail is, it may or may not fit perfect. It might take some growing pains as far as sliding it on and sliding it off. I did run into a situation where I had one rail where the rail had mounting screws that protruded farther out than the bottom of the rail, and this would not slide over. Now you could easily fix that by taking a little bit of material out of the bottom of this and out of the bottom of the other side, so that when you pull down on your mechanism, it slides on easy. But that's the only downfall that I've seen with the Badger T.R.A.M.P, and that is actually the one that I prefer for my hunting scenarios that I run. You know, going from one spot to the next where we try and get a prone shot, but the location that we go into really determines where we can set up and what kind of position we can take. If we can't get into a position where we can take a prone shot and we go seated, you know, you just pop your bipod, you grab your long one, clip it on, and you're ready to go. All right, guys, I hope you found this review informal. I hope you learned a little bit about different quick detach bipod mounts. There's a lot of them out there. They range from the inexpensive in the $20 to $25 range up to the $100, $110, $120 range. It really depends on what you want to do, how you plan to use it, what kind of bipods you have. These were all specifically set up to run the Harris. There's ones for the Atlas. There's ones for all kinds of different bipods. So like I said, it really depends on how you want to use it and what you plan to do when you have it on your rifle. Once again, this is Joe with O'Neill Ops. We're doing reviews for you. It's not hunting season yet, but it's right around the corner. So just make sure that anything that you have a question on, stop over to our Facebook page, stop over to our YouTube channels, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, and let us know if you've got any questions. Let us know if you have anything that you want to see us do a review on, and we'll do our best to get it out for you. As I said, this is Joe with O'Neill Ops. Out. Good?
Your preferences or pros and cons of each.
Pros and cons. All right, guys, just a quick intro here. Not an intro. Shut the hell up, you stupid. Cut. Did you even get to do anything? No?
Don't matter. Don't matter.
That's because I'm trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to say. So, with that, guys, I don't know what the hell I'm going to say, but we're going to do that over.